So as the training volume goes up and up and up, and the intensity within those workouts also increases, my legs are starting to really feel the mileage that I'm putting in them during this marathon training block as I train for the Blue Nose Marathon coming up in less than 8 weeks. So yes, we've got the Blue Nose Marathon in less than 8 weeks, and I think the last time I talked about my training, I was probably talking a little bit more about the Fredericton Marathon that I've ran the last 3 years. The biggest difference between Fredericton and the marathon that I'm running in Halifax is that the one in Halifax, the Blue Nose Marathon, is full of hills. The one in Fredericton is not pancake flat, but it is very, very close. And it's also been my local marathon that I've gotten really, really used to over the last couple of years. The course is going to change a little bit this year, but I think that's actually going to make it a little bit faster. But we're running the Blue Nose Marathon. Good Life, I'm a teacher during the day, but I also work at a Good Life gym in the evening. They were able to give me a bib to the one in Halifax, so I'm really excited to go down there, represent Good Life, represent myself, represent my family, represent this channel, and hopefully bring all of you along for the ride. But it does mean that it's going to be a little bit more work. So the intensity in a lot of my running has gone up. I haven't included hills yet, but if you want to stick around and you want to see me suffer through some of that hill training, please subscribe to the channel if you're not currently subscribed. If you are a longtime subscriber to the channel, as I always say, from the bottom of my mid-soul, thank you so, so much. You have no idea how much I appreciate you sticking around and watching these videos and giving me the chance to share this with you. All right, let's dive into this week so far. About 20 after 9, just getting off work at the gym. Nice 10K this morning. Mother Nature is not quite done with us yet, so we're supposed to get about 6 inches, 15 centimeters of snow tonight. And tomorrow morning might be another treadmill run. Not super excited about that, but we'll get it done. So Monday for me, I got up really early before I had to go to work and went to the gym and just did a little bit over 10 kilometers nice and easy on the treadmill. I believe my heart rate was probably hovering around the 130 beats per minute as an average, and the average pace was 5:22 minutes per kilometer. I'll try to keep the miles, paces, and all those stats up here on the screen for you folks. That's just when I look at my Strava, everything's in kilometers. On Tuesday, we went back and we did 5.79 kilometers on the treadmill in the morning. And again, heart rate hovering right around that 130, keeping it nice and easy, 5:17 per kilometer pace. We're in the Mount Coast P1. Now that is a stability shoe, and they sent that to me, and I haven't had the chance to do a review on that yet. I haven't had the chance to do a review on these yet that we'll talk about here in a second when it comes to Wednesday. But that Mount Coast P1 has been a very solid shoe. I'm not somebody who normally likes to run in any sort of stability shoes, but this one's a really good shoe. I was a big fan of the Mount Coast S1. I was a big fan of the Mount Coast R1, and I'm surprisingly a big fan of the Mount Coast P1. Probably a whole video comparing all three of those shoes coming up in the future, but that was Tuesday morning. Nice and easy on the treadmill. Then Tuesday evening, I was able to get out for another run outside. Can't remember what I was wearing on that day. I'll put a video up here on the screen. It was likely the Nimbus 27 or the Glisser Max. I've been back and forth on both of those shoes. Reviews, longer term reviews, 100-mile reviews coming on both of those because I've gotten there in both of those already, even though I haven't been running in them very long. Another day, another run, 15 kilometers on the schedule for today. My family are doing, whatever they're doing. They're training for a 5K. They're all training for a 5K. And I'm just going to run around with them for a while, and then we'll finish off doing our own thing, but nice and easy this afternoon. Big workout tomorrow, so got to make sure we don't wear ourselves out tonight. Good day at work today. Good day at work. Mother Nature can frig off though. Winter needs to be over. All right, I gotta catch up. That brings us to Wednesday. Now, Wednesday is my big workout for the week, which it normally is. I try to get a workout in on Wednesday, and then I include some pace, a workout into my long run on Saturdays. That's about it in terms of intensity. But Wednesday morning, I do go to the gym and do a little bit of a lifting session. I'm not going to work on my legs on Wednesday morning, but I do try to get something else in. I know some folks out there are going to say maybe I should be doing my running in the morning and leaving the lifting for the afternoon. And I agree that might be optimal, but my schedule and how early I have to get to work leaves me with not enough time in the morning to feel like I can get prepared and get ready for a hard session in terms of a run. But I still want to get some work in. So we went to the gym, did a back workout, did some of the typical exercises that I normally do for my back. Felt really, really good, and I don't think it impacted my run Wednesday afternoon. I was tired Wednesday afternoon, but that's the overall volume that I've been putting into my legs. And work can leave me a little bit exhausted, but I still got out there and did that run Wednesday afternoon. All right, so here we go. 1 mile easy, and then 6 times 1 mile at marathon effort with a 2-minute rest jog in between, and then 4 times 800 at a little bit of a faster pace with a minute and a half rest in between, and then a cool down. So pretty excited for this one. Legs are a little bit tired. We'll see what we got. I honestly have no idea how this run's going to turn out. But I've reached a point where I'm pretty excited to be out here on the run, even if I'm a little bit tired. I'm ready for the grind. All right, let's get this one going. All right, so mile is done, that first warm-up mile. Now we've got 4 by 100 meter strides. I gotta be honest, this is my confession for the day, is I do not do strides very much. Whether it's on an easy run, I'm thinking I should do strides. Sometimes I just feel like, oh, I'm too tired, it's not worth it. Or whether it's before a workout or a race, I'm thinking about doing strides. Sometimes I just feel like, I don't want to waste some of that energy that I've got built up, but I don't have a whole lot of energy tonight, so I'm hoping these strides actually help me. So 4 by 100 meters, and that first one starts now. So the stride's done. As soon as I hit that lap button, we're going to move on to the meat, which is 6 by 1 mile at marathon effort. I have a tendency to push these a little bit harder than I should. I think I just like to hurt a little bit. Okay. Lap number 1. Rep number 1 done. Never even thought to look at how that one ended up. I'll put it up here on the screen. 2-minute rest. Almost done. Rep 2. 1 mile. You can hear it. Interval 2 completed. Once again, I'll put the paces up here on the screen. And I know if I'm going to make it through 6, I'm going to have to dial it back just a little bit. It's definitely above marathon effort on that last one. Although I'm super happy with those paces on the first 2, I gotta get it in my head to stop being hero for the rest of these, so I don't completely grind myself into the ground. All right. Rep 5, 2, 1. Interval 6 completed. Last mile. I started to fade pretty bad there towards the end of that one. I think mentally I sort of came out of it. Physically, I'm tired. I can still push. Mentally, just towards the end of that last mile rep, my mind kind of wandered. I lost focus and slowed right down for a sec before catching myself the last 100 meters or so and picking it back up. So, got 1 minute recovery left, and then I think there's a 3-minute easy jog. Then we move into the 800s. So I don't do 800 meter reps that often. And last week I did 12 in a workout, and before going into it I was thinking 800 meters, that's half a mile, that's 200 meters short of a K. It's gonna be over like that. And don't get me wrong, it's gonna be over a lot quicker than the miles. But later on in those reps last week, I kept wondering, when are you going to get to the end of it? All right. First, of the 800 meter reps. So once again, 1.5 mile warm up, 6 1 mile repeats, and then 4 800 meter repeats, all probably way faster than I should have done in that run, but I'm excited that I was able to get that run in. I'm excited that I was able to hold the paces that I was able to hold. I'm excited about the Wave Rebellion Pro 3. I do have an issue with the heel, and we'll go over that when I share the review, which will be coming to the channel really, really soon. But it is such a unique shoe, and if you get the chance to try this on, don't judge it by how it feels when you first step into it. Because of the way the shape of this is, because of the way the Wave Rebellion Pro 2, which is way up in the corner there, because of the way they're shaped, they do feel pretty awkward when you first get into them. And they even feel pretty awkward every time I put them on and do a warm-up run. But as soon as I get some strides in, as soon as I get a feel for the shoe again, because it is so unique, it just is so much fun. All right. Enough about the shoe, enough about the workout. Really felt like that went really well. Came out of that relatively unscathed, and can't wait for the rest of the week. Garmin's saying that that I'm quite a bit fitter. That's it, guys. That's the end of today's training video. I'm going to share with you the rest of the week later. I think I've got something maybe a little bit special coming up with the run that I have coming up this weekend during my long run. My name is Matt, and this has been What Matters to Matt, and ultimately, what matters to me most is my family. I'll see you guys in the next video.